What is going on, guys? Still super with sharpsportsnetwork.com, bringing you some of my favorite plays for this Wednesday 11 game NBA slate and just my general thoughts on how you should be constructing your rosters today. Obviously, if you're a part of the team, we'll be talking about that more extensively in the chat, as long as with our cheat sheets, player grades, private stream before lock. And as always, I will be live streaming on Twitch at 4 p.m. Central Time, 2 hours before lock. Just breaking down everything, because throughout the day there's obviously going to be some random injuries and some a lot of moving parts, and we'll be discussing it more at length there. And I really believe that I'm one of the only people that answers as many questions as I do for completely free over there on Twitch. So link is in the description. Make sure to give us a follow over there if you guys are interested. And if you want a chance to win a season pass with us, all you have to do is subscribe, like this video, and then comment below with your favorite play of the day. So let's just get right into it. So I think that there's some glaring misprices on this slate. Well, there's one of them. And it's with these Phoenix Suns players. Yesterday we talked about how the Nuggets were a bit underpriced with Gary Harris and Will Barton. They absolutely smashed it for their prices, and they were some of the best value plays on the slate. And if you look at the teams that took down the tournaments yesterday, they had those Denver value guys. And yeah, I was all over it yesterday. I'm going to continue doing that today. So with these Phoenix Suns, it's different than from years past. The minutes, the rotation is super tight, especially without DeAndre Ayton out there. Now a lot of the usage and stuff goes into guys like Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, and Devin Booker more so, and I think they're all severely mispriced. We'll talk about Ricky. We'll talk about the matchup first. So first of all, we'll go over to look at the Vegas odds. They're projected for 112.25 points, 229 over under. So a great game environment, just in sense of the Vegas predictions. And it's actually rose a point since open. Only 5-point dogs in Golden State. A lot of respect for the Phoenix Suns, and it's just you can't predict the Suns or the Warriors to really be blowing out these teams when their defense is just so bad, allowing a 64.6 effective field goal percentage, which is by far the worst in the league. 7.6% behind the Indiana Pacers. Absolutely dreadful on defense. And then we look over here, and the Warriors are a pace-up team now, 107 pace. Now, if you're worried about the Phoenix Suns being down here more in the middle, well, they're at 14, so just about in the middle. That's pretty good considering the teams that they've faced so far. We've seen that they faced Sacramento, who's bottom of the league. I think they're 25th in the league in terms of pace this year. Denver, very slow. Clippers, very slow with Kawhi Leonard now. And then the Utah Jazz, we know, are slow every single year with Rudy Gobert and their half-court offense. So I think this game plays really fast. A 228 over under is nothing to sneeze at, and I think that this game could hit the over. And I like bringing it back with guys like Steph Curry, D'Angelo Russell, Draymond Green. I think it's viable, and we know that they're getting back Willie Cauley-Stein, kind of shore some things up in the front court for the Warriors. But I digress. Let's get back to the Suns. So they're playing just massive minutes. We see that Ricky Rubio's played 31 minutes per game this year. Kelly Oubre about 31, Devin Booker 35. But these are very skewed. I went back and looked at the popcorn machine. I didn't want to go through every single game, so I'll just tell you what I found when going through all these games. So obviously he missed one of the 4 games, but the Sacramento game, he lost minutes to a blowout. He lost about 5 minutes, so he would have played 35 minutes in this game. He ended up not closing because of that. This game he played 36. Everything was fine, and actually he was in foul trouble and still played 36 minutes in a tight game. And then against Utah, he was in foul trouble, and he missed probably 5-6 minutes in this, so he would have played 33-34 minutes this game with the upside of more, and he's still churning out the production, and he's only 6.2K in a pace-up spot against one of the worst defenses in the league. And we look, he has a 41.8 assist percentage. It's just massive numbers, and we know how good he can be on the boards. One of the better rebounding point guards in the league. So I like going back to the well with him, and he's just so underpriced on all of these sites. Whoops, I just looked at him over here. 6.5K over on Fanduel. I don't know how you get away from him. And from all the ownership things I've been looking at, nobody's really looking at him. So I'm fine with him in cash games, but in GPPs as well, he's obviously an amazing play. Only 12.7K over here. Averaging 1.1 fantasy points per minute with DeAndre Ayton off the court this year. Obviously not that big of a sample size, but I think his minutes are there. The usage should remain there, and assist percentage, of course, he's going to come down with a couple boards as well. I would fully expect that. Devin Booker, 7.9K. It's crazy that he's playing these mid-30s minutes, and it's the same case with this. He's been in decent amounts of foul trouble in all of these games, 5 fouls and all. Now that's kind of worrisome, but when I'm projecting players, I don't look at foul. I'm not trying to predict foul trouble. I'm never going to predict foul trouble or blowouts. I think in the long run, that's just going to screw you over. If you've watched me the past couple of years and stuff, you know that that's something I avoid doing, because I think it's only going to come at your own detriment. And I think at 7.9K, he's just simply underpriced. This guy could be $1,000 more, and I would still be very, very interested in him. He's averaging over a fantasy point per minute with these guys off the court. Actually, I got the numbers right here. If I can bring it up. Devin Booker's averaging 1.07 fantasy points per minute without DeAndre Ayton this year in 118 minutes. And then the guy that I just think is a glaring value next to Ricky Rubio, and I think I like Oubre and Rubio for their respective prices a bit more than Devin Booker, just because I think they're so severely priced. Kelly Oubre this year in 95.5 minutes without DeAndre Ayton on the court averages 1.21 fantasy points per minute. And we look over here at what he's doing, and it's because he's hovering over this 23% or 23 usage percentage, and his minutes are remaining the same. It's the same situation as Ricky Rubio. The only games that he hasn't been playing mid-30s and minutes because he's been in foul trouble or a blowout. So he played 30 minutes in this game, and that was because he missed the last 4 or 5 minutes, just like Ricky Rubio to blowouts. He played 37 this game, 22 right here. He was in foul trouble. And he missed out on minutes there, and he was in bad foul trouble like early on. And then he played 34 minutes again. And even when he was in foul trouble, he put up 35.75 points. And it's just like, I really want to go back to these guys. And I know as I'm recording this, we already got news that Kawhi Leonard has been ruled out. So Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell are going to probably be very, very popular today. So, I like those guys, and I'm going to dig in a bit deeper into that because that just happened. But as of right now, I have these guys as pretty much equals. So at least in GPPs, these guys are amazing pivots, and I just think they're underpriced on all of the sites. Devin Booker only 8.5K over here. Kelly Oubre 6.9K, and on Fantasy Draft, this is where I'm going to really want to stack all these guys. Is on Fantasy Draft. Booker is only 14.4K relative to all the other studs on the slate. He's very, very cheap. He's 2.3K cheaper than Damian Lillard. I would take Devin Booker over him every single day of the week for that price. Kelly Oubre only 12.3K, and then Rubio we talked about earlier only 12.7K. Yeah, we are sponsored by Fantasy Draft, and if you want to get my free cheat sheet and a bit a look behind the paywall for my NBA product and a completely free NFL season pass for all of the sites, all you have to do is use code Sharp Sports when signing up and depositing on Fantasy Draft. And if you show us proof on Twitter, we will make sure to get you those passes for completely free. All you have to do is sign up using code Sharp Sports, deposit, show us proof, and yeah, you'll experience a rake-free experience over here on Fantasy Draft. And you know that's something when you're trying to grind a bankroll. If you're not paying for rake, you're probably going to be far more profitable than you would on other sites. So I highly recommend doing that. If you have any questions, just hit me up on Twitter at Taylor Stuber. And again, I will be on Twitch at 4 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/Sharp Sports Network. Links are all in the description. Go ahead and check that out. So best of luck today, and until next time, peace.